Hey everyone, welcome back to the final part of our Deus Ex Pacifist run, where our goal is not only to play through the entire game non-lethally, but also to save everyone possible. Last time we left off, we were leaving Vandenberg after learning of the kidnapping of the daughter of our ally Dr. Savage. We're dropped off at an abandoned gas station where our objective is to rescue her from MJ12 hostage takers. We start out in a broken roadway below the station. I grab the nano key hidden near the back of the level, then head up the ladder that we can now access. We emerge in an enclosed structure with patrolling guards all around. I wait a moment, then rush through with my speed augmentation using the jump enhancement to jump over the back fence. Okay, that's guarded too. No good. We can't alert the guards or they'll set off an alarm and take out their hostage. I restart and this time manage to evade the exterior guards long enough to pick the lock on the entrance. The cloaking augmentation then allows me to get to the top of her cell unnoticed. Dropping down does two things. It starts a conversation with the hostage Tiffany, as well as alerts the surrounding guards to a sound made inside the cell. Funnily enough, they open, then immediately shut the cell door, then patiently wait for us to conclude our talk.
Wait here while I...
Right.
Whoa, okay, not sure what that explosion was. By the time we finish, they've apparently lost interest. But I realize now I'm completely trapped in here, and opening the door will certainly cause them to trigger an alarm. Not only that, but it's clear I'm gonna have to escort her out of here without the guards noticing. So I'm gonna have to clear the way out first. Anyway, that means we've got to play this a bit more traditionally and knock everyone out before rescuing her. The tranquilizer gun is the most convenient option, however, it gives some guards the opportunity to set off the alarm. After a few attempts, I managed to stack a sizable number of unconscious bad guys to the covered ladder area from earlier. Now I just need to deal with the interior two guards. I ascend to the roof, then drop a flare off the side, causing them to run outside and into a gas grenade I set up for them. Then I clumsily attempt to knock them out with a baton before they can do anything in response. And with that impressive display, we can now safely rescue Tiffany. She informs us that we can obtain the schematics for a universal constructor in an OceanLab, and we can use it to synthesize an antidote for the plague.
All we need is a schematic.
We tell her to make a break for the helicopter when I hear that same explosion sound from earlier. And now that I think of it, it's probably our pilot, Jock, blowing a hole in the wall outside.
Good, you both made it. Sure, I'll drop you off.
Well, a bit of an odd short level for this game, considering what we've made it through thus far. 7 restarts, 9 KOs to save our hostage, and 0 deaths. Okay, time for a nice big level. We arrive at the MJ12 Sub Base with the following objectives. Steal a mini sub and take it to the OceanLab, and recover a schematic for the Universal Constructor. But for now, we have to make our way past military bots and patrolling guards. I managed to access an outbuilding, which gives us a key to unlock the door to an ascending stairwell. Now we have to deal with a horde of guards and scientists. Trying to slip past the security camera doesn't go well the first time, and I try to make a break for it. It just gets worse and worse until I manage to trigger an alarm, forcing a restart. On the next go around, I go ahead and use my cloaking, which hides me from the guards, but not the camera. I'm fast enough to get out of sight range before the alarm goes off though. After a while, I make my way to a room with some friendly scientists and unexpectedly trigger a scripted conversation.
Savage Denton's an old code name from... I have a map of the facility. Also, you... Thanks.
The nearby guard takes note and triggers the alarm while I'm stuck talking to this guy. Great. Okay, this time I opt to slip by and skip the scientist room. I really don't need it anyway. And head through the waterway to try and take a shortcut. Unfortunately, I'm not alone. Ouch. Okay, this time I try following a patrolling guard who's holding a GEP gun. Then slip past a mech enemy. This allows me to access the needed building from the outside, however, I have to bail when I'm spotted on the roof.
Is that you?
And it turns out the water isn't safe with an enemy diver patrolling below. Still, I managed to get through and with a combination of distractions and cloak, finally reach a relatively safe area. Some more sneaking and shenanigans gets me down to the mini-sub, which allow us to reach the underwater lab with the universal constructor schematics.
Mind if I borrow one of those?
Well, things down here have gone haywire with mutants everywhere and automated guns active. I'll save you guys from having to watch most of the sneaking around I had to do. Finally, after some swimming and hacking, we reach an underground cave area. Unfortunately, we have some annoying greasels down here that I have to evade. The back passage is locked, so I run down a side passage. Well, at least it was quick. On the next go, I jump on top of a piece of equipment to stay out of reach while I draw whatever that thing was out of its hiding spot. Okay, apparently not out of reach. That didn't work. On the next try, I try activating the switch in the back instead. This room hates me. So this time I managed to sneak to the back of the room, but I need a key for the far door. I opt for speed over stealth and hit my speed augmentation. Sprinting in, I grab the key and run away, managing to finally outrun the creature. Below, the hallway features another annoying automated gun. I decide to employ some speedy evasion. Ouch. Man, realistic difficulty hurts, guys. I restart and this time make it to the elevator and to safety. Just kidding, I'm dead. Okay, this time I keep dodging like a maniac even after getting on the elevator until I'm finally out of sight. Jeez. Now we're on the lowest level and just need to slip past a huge spider bot and then some automated turrets. There's a gap to the objective room, but our speed augmentation allows us to reach it with no problem, probably bypassing having to somehow extend the bridge.
Schematics should be stored on the computer in this room.
Now that we have it, it's time to make our escape. Before we can leave, we have a message from our nemesis, Bob Page.
In case you were wondering, Helios intercepted your transmission. We accessed the OceanLab computers ourselves.
He informs us that he's intercepted our schematics and will resume his own manufacturing.
Meanwhile, we will be manufacturing a cure to the virus.
A cure? Do you have any idea?
Your next page.
After some
Your
extended
greatest
back and forth
strength is
statements of
secrecy.
bravado, where Page finally informs us of his intention to level the Vandenberg base. On the way back up, we get some more ominous messages, letting us know of an approaching sub. We soon hear from an old friend, Walter Simons. This can't be good.
Remember that NSF gentleman I had to dispatch back at UNATCO headquarters? Guess you were bitten by the same bug.
It turns out that he's waiting for us back at the cave room, and a conversation is initiated while I'm crouching.
In the break room at UNATCO, you know that I have the same augmentation technology as you.
Then this will be a good fight.
With the exception.
Meaning that I can't dodge when the conversation ends. Then it turns to chaos as he starts shooting plasma at anything that moves. I try to dodge with a completely darkened screen thanks to that weird brightness bug I mentioned earlier, and finally get done in by a familiar enemy. A couple of tries later, I skip the conversation and use the underbarrel launcher on the assault rifle to hit Simon straight on, getting him low enough to make him flee in panic. Now I can chase him and knock him out safely, or so I thought. Just like Anna earlier, he seems to be immune to getting knocked out. Then it hits me. Can't I just leave? I mean, I've never not taken him out at this point before. So I just run away, and it works. I re-enter the swimming room when a crazy diver pulls out a lamb at close quarters. Fortunately, I managed to escape before he can use it. I take my sub back to the main base and make my way to the pickup point on the roof. Gary Savage is waiting for us, eager for a long conversation, but there are still enemies patrolling around.
You made it.
So I rush through the conversation. Good luck with all the soldiers still around, Gary. 22 restarts, but 0 KOs or deaths. And just a quick tip here, I remember playing this a long time ago, where my inventory was full at the end of this mission and Gary couldn't give me the augmentation upgrade canister, so the mission wouldn't end. The thing is, I could still keep talking to him over and over, getting unlimited skill points as a reward. Then when I was done, I cleared inventory space and proceeded as normal. Not sure if it still works, but it was pretty cool getting to max out all of my skills as a result. Now we find ourselves at a missile silo with the objective of stopping the missile launch on Vandenberg base. This is another sort of weird offbeat mission. We have to first evade the dogs around the perimeter, then deal with multiple sniper positions. Finally, I make my way around back and sneak through a guard post with cloaking. Oh yeah, cloaking doesn't work against bots. Forgot about that one. Finally, I make my way inside and down to the blast doors, using the code Gary gave us at the beginning. It works for every door except for the final one at the end. This forces us to detour to a side tunnel where we find a patrolling guard and, above him, the missile control room. I wonder what this button with the giant flashing red abort sign does. Excuse me, sir, I just need to press this real quick. Okay, now that we've quietly redirected the missile to hit Bob Page at Area 51 instead, Page taunts us again that we haven't won yet. We now have the objective to ensure that MJ12 can't sabotage the launch. Sneaking back down, the last blast door from earlier is now open and we come across a long hallway. I proceed carefully and come across a floor grid, allowing me to bypass them without a fight. As I drop down, an alarm sounds and they charge, but it's too late. We jump down into the water and ride the elevator up to the missile launch bay. There we find a guy in a lift working on the missile boosters. Not sure what his plan is, but our objective forces us to take non-lethal action. Oops, let's try that again. There we go. Okay, we've done it. But Jock lets us know that the rocket is about to launch, and there's still an unconscious enemy directly beneath it. In the spirit of the run, I pick him up and take him to a safe spot via the elevator before escaping myself.
Let's get out of here. There's a hero's welcome after Buffalo.
The missile silo is now complete. 10 restarts, 1 KO, and 0 deaths. Alright, we've arrived at Bob Page's base in Area 51.
Just spotted a sniper in the tower.
Our pilot warns us of a sniper in the tower. At this point in the run, I have sniper PTSD, so I move cautiously. Our objectives are to get access to the Area 51 bunker and get past the blast doors north of the helipad. I enter a damaged outbuilding with several guards inside when I'm surprised by a familiar face.
Saw some soldiers running away from the hangar. Be careful.
Yep, that's Walter Simons. I had no idea he could appear in this level.
You take another step forward, and here I am again.
That makes me one ugly.
After some rude banter, he attacks us again, or at least attempts to. I don't think the game is doing well with the pathing in this corner. I back off, then use my augments to jump up to the top level. We meet a friendly guard who gives us the login for the tower security computer.
Who? I'm YZ. That's more like it.
I activate my cloak and stumble out of the top level, alerting the guards to my presence. My cloak keeps me from being attacked though, so I leave Simons in the dust once again. Entering another side building rewards us with the tower key and some goodies. Now we can access the tower itself. After disarming a sneakily placed lamb and accidentally setting off another one below, I make my way to the top of the tower. The sniper is up here, so I have to be careful. We've gotten one shot way too many times from these guys on realistic difficulty. I activate the computer and hide behind the central pillar. Now the doors are open and we can make our way inside. After disabling the camera, I slowly approach, coming across an enemy bot.
But utility power is down. You'll need to bring up the power before you can...
Only on Savage's schematics, you can be certain that I've installed a few surprises since his departure.
Once through, we deal with those annoying spider bots again on the way to activating the power to the elevator down.
The elevator power is online. Good. Proceed to the bunker.
A few carefully placed flares get us through. A few carefully placed flares get us through. And it's a long way down. Now we're getting messages from multiple friendly advisors as well as taunts from Page himself.
Page is further down. Find the elevator. Your primary objective is to kill Page, JC.
At the bottom of the stairs is a set of lasers, but with some careful jumping, we're able to avoid setting off the alarm. After some more sabotage from Page, we come across a holo communicator. Morgan Everett appears, warning us against listening to Tracer Tong and urging us to take out Page, allowing us to bring the Illuminati back to power and join them in ruling the world.
Kill Page.
Anyway, down the hall we have a bot we need to bypass, so I hide behind the nearby cover and... Okay, I'll use a flare to distract. Flares to distract. Finally. This nearby room provides us with some much needed medical attention as well as some equipment. Now, we need to bypass this camera down the hall. Oddly enough, even though you can't hear it, apparently I got the camera's attention and the alarm sounds when I pop out at the exact wrong moment. Trying again, I managed to slip into the slow opening door right before the alarm goes off. This leads us to a room with a couple of enemy guards, one of which is briefly alerted. After waiting until he sits back down, I hit my cloak and I can pilfer a multi-tool right under their noses. But more importantly, I can also access a data cube with a code to an unhackable panel elsewhere. Heading to another room that contains that panel, we score an upgrade canister and a nano key. Honestly, at this point of the game, I have every augment I need, so I toss it to a throwaway augmentation. Moving on, the next room has a lot of enemy guards. I push through with cloaking on and fortunately can use a repair bot to refill halfway through. Hitting the elevator triggers more taunting from Bob Page as well as a surprise.
Put you in training. They love their little boy JC.
Great, there's nowhere to hide, so I hightail it out of there. It doesn't go well. in my defense, I'm not allowed to shoot back at those guys, okay? The next go round, I hide before the elevator arrives, then use a series of flares to distract the enemies away from the elevator itself. The cloaking augment lets me slip past peacefully. Oh, where's the button? Oh, there it is.
Barely a scratch.
Now on to the next sector. Here we are contacted by Tracer Tong, who gives us history's longest objective. To sum it up, he wants us to destroy Area 51, which will also take out the world's communications hub, causing a new dark age. People will have to rebuild civilization, but can live free from tyranny. Seems a bit naive to me, but hey, who am I to judge? Anyway, moving on, we enter a large room with catwalks and a central stairwell. There are lots of troops around too, so it's a bit tricky to get around without drawing attention. I try again and trigger cloak this time, but unfortunately all of the troops swarm the stairwell and stop.
Someone's there. I can hear
Then
you.
one steps on my head and causes damage. This is just ridiculous. I can't push past and they keep stepping on me.
Hello? Whoever's out there is in serious trouble.
My energy lasts just long enough to reach the top undetected. Not my smoothest moment there. Okay, a security computer at the top lets us grab another upgrade canister. Losing patience with all the patrols, I decide to run out with my speed augment to the next room. It turns out that these are where the reactors that Tong wants us to blow up are. We meet up with a friendly technician who gives us the code for the Aquinas Hub.
Still there? Who? The Greys. They're right outside by the reactors. No. Maybe the Aquinas system controls access, but I haven't figured out how yet.
My attempted escape from here is a bit ridiculous, so I'll just shut up and let you guys enjoy the next minute of failures. You really get an appreciation of the sheer number of things that want to kill me in this level. Finally, we're back up the stairs and can get to the Aquinas Hub, where we have been instructed to go by the Helios AI system.
All the way down, JC. Get to Page's compound and take him out. Everett and I will join you shortly.
On the way, I slip past a commando guard while Everett again tries to convince me to join his side.
The giddy acquiescence. Justice, JC. We can put the world back together.
Now there's a voice I haven't heard in years.
We refill at a maintenance spot and head up to finally meet the AI in person.
At the top of the chamber. Come to me.
He gives us the second longest objective ever to essentially merge with him to create a super AI that will administrate the world in peace. Now we have 3 potential objectives, each of which will result in a different ending to the game, not to mention have large ramifications for the rest of the world. Given that joining the Illuminati involves killing Bob Page, and following Tracer Tong's instructions would result in the destruction of the facility and everyone left in it, for this pacifist run, the choice is obvious: to merge with the Helios AI and to rule the planet peacefully. Now that all of our options are in front of us, I make my way back to the Aquinas entrance. As I'm snooping around, I notice the sounds of gunfire above. 3 commando enemies are charging into attack, but are met with 2 friendly security bots deployed by Helios. Great, now I gotta break up another fight. I try rushing towards the enemies while cloaked and armed with a baton, but it doesn't go very well. I don't fare much better on the second try either. Over and over, I try to knock them out before they fall, but it's not even close to working. And just a note, before you tell me to just disable the bots before the fight, the guys will just run in and blow them up anyway. Finally, I decide to rush out, distract them with flares, then run before the battle even takes place. I'm hoping that I can either prevent the fight entirely or cause them to despawn just like earlier in the run. Slipping past some additional enemies and a giant spider bot, I make my way deeper into the compound.
My compound is quite secure.
We're then contacted by a familiar face, Paul Denton, who essentially argues for us to side with the Helios AI, though he's far less pushy about it than the others. Interesting note here, if you left Paul to die in his apartment earlier in the game, Gary Savage will appear here instead.
Just do what you think is right.
We move deeper into Sector 4, where we enter a room with some people stored in stasis, which is apparently where the Dentons were created. One of the pods is labeled Alex Denton, the protagonist from the not-as-great sequel to this game, Deus Ex Invisible War. I mean, it was okay, it was fun gameplay, but I only played it once, many years ago. But I digress. Now, we have to proceed through a radioactive area inhabited by the dangerous gray beings. I rush past them, then hide down the hall to try to evade them. But these guys are fast. They chase me down, and then I just inexplicably die. Sneaking by doesn't really work either. So instead, I run quickly by and manage to close the door behind me before they can follow. Now on to the deepest level, where we finally discover Page, who has sealed himself inside an impenetrable energy field, preparing himself to merge with the Helios AI.
You're too late. Already I'm more than human.
Does that mean I don't get the job?
Nothing.
After some villainous exposition, he unleashes the surrounding automated turrets on us. So I have to book it before I'm taken down. I try to hack a nearby door, but approaching spider bots force me to bail out over the side instead. Now we're surrounded by a lot of enemies, mainly of the mutant variety. I sprint away again and finally find a safe place to heal up and recharge. Now to get through the mutant army. Remember, these big guys can one-shot us on realistic difficulty. I initially evade them, then activate my cloak until I can reach the Aquinas substation door. I have to hack it before my energy runs out. Unfortunately, Bob Page has another surprise for us. He destroys the nearby equipment, electrifying the room. I activate my electrical resistance, but still die almost instantly. On my second attempt, I tried to get close enough to bypass the electrical panel, but at 400% incoming damage, I don't last long enough to complete the job. On the third try, I find a spot where I take less damage and complete the bypass. It does make me wonder, though, how the developers intended this to be completed on realistic difficulty. And now we finally reach the Aquinas Hub. Helios instructs us to open the various high bandwidth connections to Area 51, over the objections of Page. And with that activation, we're ready to return to Sector 3 and merge with the AI. Time to activate our speed and get out of here. Okay, I'm not sure how that guy lost sight of me, but I'll take it. Now we're back to the area with the commando troops. It turns out I was right earlier. Sort of. Running away did stop the battle, but only temporarily. It turns out when you're far away, the enemies are no longer hostile to each other. But when I return, the bots and troopers go hostile again, and the battle ends quickly. Try a couple of times to knock them out first, but it's completely hopeless. Finally, somewhat defeated, I head up the elevator to complete the final objective.
No, Helios is mine. I will be the one to merge the one to see and know everything, to rule.
I've done what you asked. Now what?
We have existed in isolation, pure, disconnected, alone, stagnant.
Who are you?
We are Daedalus. We are Icarus. The barriers between us have fallen, and we have become our own shadows. We can be more if we join with you.
And if I do? What becomes of me?
You will be who you will be. We are our choices. We can choose to lead.
Area 51 is complete. 40 restarts, 0 KOs, and 3 deaths.
This is why I exist.
Now for the final tally of the run. A whopping 441 total restarts, 38 knockouts, and despite our best efforts, we unfortunately ended up with 8 deaths. Some of them in the Hong Kong club and the rest at the end of Area 51. As I sit and watch the credits, I start wondering what I could have done differently along the way. And that's when I realize I've been handicapping myself the entire time. Remember back near the beginning of the first video where I mentioned my first mistake on the run with my augmentation selection? I had an option between being able to lift heavy objects or increasing melee damage. At the time, I had no idea how important melee weapons would be on the run against enemies who are immune to tranquilizer darts, so I chose the heavy lifting augmentation instead. That proved to be a crucial error once I progressed further into the run. So, I do the natural thing. I started over. I went all the way back to Liberty Island, completed the first mission, then returned to UNATCO headquarters, and this time selected combat strength to boost my melee damage. I then played through the game again until I reached the Hong Kong Club, choosing to use both upgrade canisters on combat strength. And getting my low-tech weapons to master skill as quickly as I can. I then get to work, activating all helpful augmentations and heading into the fray. I managed to quickly knock out the first enemy, but the second falls to the Triad members. Meanwhile, the upstairs commando is causing chaos. On the next restart, I realized that I may be able to use the higher damage Riot Prod instead. It works initially, but unfortunately, with only 4 charges per reload, it proves to be difficult to knock out the enemies fast enough. I keep trying though, and even with all of these bonuses, it can take a lot of hits to knock out commandos from the front. Over and over, I keep going at it. But either the good guys take the commandos out too fast, or friendlies fall too quickly for me to intervene. After a bunch of attempts, I decide to see what happens if I hang back like I did in the original run. The only difference between then and now is only enemies are killed at the raid, and I'm again free to take out the last commando at the entrance. So even after all that, all I managed to do is go from 5 deaths to 4. Still, I play through the rest of the game all the way to Area 51 to see if I can knock out the commandos before they reach the security bots. I start with the first patrolling commando in the hallway. Then I move him out of the way so as to not alert his friends, though I'm honestly not sure if that makes any difference. I then activate combat damage, bullet resistance, and speed augmentations, as well as a thermoptic camo and bullet resistant vest. I then move past the commandos, temporarily invisible, and attack with the riot prod from behind. There we go, all 3 of them saved. And with that, we take our final totals to 455 restarts, 4 deaths, which is down from the 8 originally, and 41 knockouts. While it was a valiant attempt, and we saved a lot of lives, we didn't quite hit our goal to save everyone in the game. So, after all this time and effort, I should be able to just leave it at that, right? But I can't. I keep thinking about the Hong Kong Club. Surely there has to be a way to save everyone, even the bad guys, right? I mean, if there were just some way of preventing the entire fight in the first place. Then it hits me. A solution I should have thought about from the very beginning. I'd been so focused on the immediate situation at hand that I hadn't thought it all through. There couldn't be any friendly casualties if there were no friendlies to fight in the first place. So I loaded a saved game all the way back to Hong Kong. Before going to the Lucky Money, I decided to take a detour to the VersaLife Labs to see if I can enter them earlier than intended, since we know the code now from the first run. And to my surprise, it lets us right in. I take the time to grab some augmentations, including cloaking, and head back to the club. Then I get to work. First, I break the window between the meeting room and the dance floor to create a shortcut. Then, I use tranquilizer darts to knock out each of the Triad members in the meeting room. After they're down, I also knock out Max Chen's 2 personal guards in the back. Now, this next part I'm not proud of. I have to make sure there are absolutely no potential targets in the club for the enemy commandos. So that means KOing everybody here. Ooh, sorry. Oh man, sorry. Sorry. This is for your own good, guys. Okay, now that that's done, it's time to trigger the attack. I turn most of my augmentations on in a vest to prepare. Then after several tries, I'm able to do this. And with that last commando, we've done it. We've cleared the entire game without anyone, whether friendly or enemy, dying through the entire run. Now to visit Helios one last time. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We've completed the entire game of Deus Ex without a single character being killed, whether by us or by anyone else. Adding the replayed Hong Kong Club and Area 51 attempts, we arrive at a grand total of 466 restarts, 62 knockouts, and 0 deaths. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this content and would like to see more classic game challenges in the future, please help me out by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. And as always, take care.